Now, over the course of the federal election campaign, we've been going to voters, Canadians like you, who across the country, some of you who have not yet decided who you're going to be voting for. So we've been talking to you about the issues that matter most. Our next guest is one of those undecided voters. Heather Balfour joins us now from Regina. Heather, thank you for making time for us today.
Hi, Natasha.
Heather, let me begin by asking you, as an undecided voter, what is the most important issue for you in this election?
Well, the biggest issue for me is, strangely enough, because we were just hearing about it, is the drug toxicity crisis that I think has been raging unchecked in this country for many years. I lost my daughter Rachel when she was 18 to a fentanyl overdose when she was away at university.
I'm really, really sorry to hear about your daughter Rachel, and I'm glad you pointed out that it is sort of a bizarre coincidence that we were planning on speaking to you now anyway, and then Pierre Poilievre comes up, and the main subject for him that he's talking about is this ongoing crisis in this country of the availability of illicit drugs, how quickly people get addicted of all ages, all different backgrounds, economic status. And in his talk, he brought up some people who shared a little bit of their personal stories. Can you tell me a little bit about Rachel, as much as you feel comfortable sharing, and what happened to her?
Absolutely. Rachel, we miss her every day. She was a smart, accomplished, talented young person with a real plan on what she wanted to do with her life. She was a musician. She was very smart in math and in science, and she knew that she wanted to be a computer scientist. She worked very hard in high school to be able to get into a top 5 school in the country, and she was successful in doing that. She started her first year of university. Everything was going fine. She came home for a Christmas visit with us, the same Rachel that we knew and loved. And then we stopped hearing from her one weekend in February. And later that day, the police came to our house to tell us that she'd been found dead in her dorm room. And it was months later that we discovered through her autopsy that she had died of fentanyl poisoning.
God, I can't imagine, Heather, what that moment is like. And again, I thank you for sharing this, because I know grief lives with us constantly. So how did you find, did you have any sense that she was using any kind of drugs, that she was treating it like, oh, it's a recreational thing all the kids are doing? Because we're looking at pictures of her. She's so beautiful, youthful, athletic. You can tell this is a child that has her whole life ahead of her. What went wrong?
We actually have no idea. We know almost nothing about the situation that caused her to die of fentanyl poisoning. We didn't know her to be a drug user. All of a sudden, one day we just didn't hear from her. So the whole situation around how she came to be someone who has died from toxic drugs, we still to this day don't know.
So then, God, that's a lot for you as a mom to manage, for your family to unpack. With that in mind, considering what we just heard from Pierre Poilievre, he really is the leader in this election campaign that's emphasized this issue the most, I would say. What do you think of what we heard from him? Because he said he wants to shut down safe injection centers. He says they're problematic, crack down on drug dealers, get life sentences if they're over a certain amount, more emphasis on rehabilitation, and give judges the option of ordering mandatory treatment. What do you think of those promises?
So it's interesting. As I was preparing for this election and my vote, I studied the different party platforms, looking for what their plans were, and it was hard to find really anything until about the last 3 days. It was nice to see that it was highlighted in the leadership debate earlier this week, and the platforms, many of them just coming out today, so I haven't really had a chance to study those, but it's good to hear that there is some recognition that this is a crisis. If it was up to me, one of the first things I would do would be to provide education and communication about how big this crisis is, because unfortunately, when we hear like we just did, it makes it sound like this is a problem within a marginalized society, a marginalized community, and it isn't. This is a problem that is affecting every community in every city, in every province, and I don't think people are aware of the risk to themselves and their loved ones, and I don't think they're aware of the size and scope of this problem.
And I think you're right, Heather. Because so many of the experts and people that we've spoken to, moms like yourself, dads like yourself, the idea is that this is a problem somewhere else. It doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen in our family. It doesn't happen in our community, despite the overwhelming numbers that we are seeing of people who are getting addicted, who are having overdoses, and who are unfortunately dying. So why is there a disconnect? And when you say you want better education and communication, what are you thinking of? How do you imagine that?
So here's what I think. I think there's a huge stigma around drug use, and there are a lot of people who like to pretend it's not happening. I can guarantee everyone has someone that they know that's suffering from substance abuse. And there's such a stigma around searching for help that people just like to hide it and they don't talk about it, and that makes the situation far worse, because people aren't searching out for the supports that they need, and we don't have near enough supports. We don't have treatment. When people need treatment, they need treatment right now. They don't need a counselor 6 months from now, or they need somebody to talk to right now that can connect them up with the services that they need. And because people aren't being open about their needs and how widespread this problem is, those services just aren't available.
Let's talk about the idea of treatment in its various different forms. Now, Pierre Poilievre has been very critical of safe injection sites. And again, as much as you feel comfortable sharing your opinion, what's your take on that?
So I think supervised consumption sites have saved a lot of lives. I think they provide a lot of services that just simply aren't available in other places, and they are keeping people alive. Now, I heard in that platform, I heard a lot of talk about treatment spaces. If we have enough treatment spaces for everybody that wants one, that's fantastic. But we don't have enough spaces right now for people who voluntarily want service. So I don't know how on earth we're going to provide services for involuntary care as well.
So with this all in mind, what are you thinking? It's 8-9 days away from Election Day. How are you feeling?
Well, so first of all, I am very encouraged. As I said, over the last 3 days, suddenly I'm seeing all kinds of information from various political parties about actually recognizing that this is a problem and then we have to do something about it. So that I find extremely encouraging, regardless of who the next government is or if we have a minority government. I think we have an opportunity to actually do something about this problem that's raging unchecked and is getting bigger and is affecting more and more people. I think now is the opportunity to do something about it.
And before I let you go, Heather, I do thank you for all of this really, really thoughtful insight into this issue that matters to you and matters to so many Canadians. But again, I'll be transparent, living with grief, you want the opportunity to talk about the one you lost. So talk to me a little bit more about Heather before we let you go. What do we need to know and what do people not understand? I mean, sorry, not about Heather, about your beautiful daughter, Rachel.
Yeah. I think Rachel would have made such a difference in this world. She was a go-getter and she would have just added so much. And I think what people don't know is we are losing thousands of people like Rachel. We are losing tradespeople, professionals. We're losing people that could make such a difference to our communities if only we had services that they need. The levels of anxiety and depression in young people is a major driver of people self-medicating with illicit drugs. And I do think that people need to stop and think about that and do something for people who are suffering from anxiety and depression.
Heather Balfour, I thank you for your time, for your bravery, and again, we are also deeply sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Natasha. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.